Hey everybody, this is Danny with Legendary Muscle, and today I'm here with Calvin and his 1952 Chevy Truck. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Man, this truck really looks beautiful. So we've been looking for a truck to have on the show for a while, and this is actually our first truck. What's the story behind it? How did you get it?
Actually, I got the truck about 10 or 15 years ago, somewhere along in there and everything. Truck definitely didn't look like this when I went to pick it up and everything. I was able to drive it home, but a lot of problems with it and everything. I had to hold the door shut to keep it from flying open. Some of the glass was broken out of it. The back fenders were laying up in the back and everything. Had it just been painted not too long ago and everything, and I think the guy that had the truck before me was just trying to throw the thing together real quick and get out of it and everything.
Oh, okay. So he probably was a little over his head, and then he decided to
I think so, to tell you the truth. I'm not sure. Like I say, there was a lot of little things. Of course, when I went to look at it and everything, to me, I saw a diamond in the rough and everything. Exactly. I had my daughter with me, and she kept pointing out all sorts of mistakes that were on it and everything, like the broken glass and the fenders laying up in the back and just stuff like that.
So when you finally got it home, you had to limp your way home, basically.
Oh, definitely.
What was the wife's reaction?
Well, actually, when I pulled in with it and everything, of course, I called her on the phone, told her that we were on the way just to help protect us. But the brakes wouldn't work with a crap. The transmission didn't shift at all hardly and everything. Anyway, we limped home. I come pulling in the driveway. I get out, and my wife comes out. My daughter gets out of the car or the truck with me. My wife comes out, and she's standing there looking at it, and I've got a big grin on my face. Oh, I'm so excited to get this. The best part about it was she looks at me and doesn't say I like it, doesn't like the color, nothing like that. Just immediately is, I don't think you made a very good deal.
Oh man. So this being a 52, were there a lot of parts missing, or did you have a lot of original trim on it? I mean, how'd you go upon that?
Well, almost all the chrome that you see on it, there wasn't anything on it. It had a grill in it, not that grill. It had a grill in it and everything, but the grill was all beat up and done. Like I say, almost no mirrors. It did have an inside mirror, not that one that's in there now, but it did have an inside mirror in it and everything. But almost everything you see for chrome and everything was not there.
So really a diamond in the rough, like you said. So this paint color right here, is this off of any particular car or what?
Well, that's a funny story, but actually I call it 69 Cadillac gunmetal gray. But when I bought the truck and everything, the guy gave me a little card that had different color paint chips on it and everything. And this, a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. And it says right underneath it, 69 Cadillac gunmetal gray. And he points to it and tells me, he goes, this is the color. So that's what I went with later on, to find out that that's not 69 Cadillac gunmetal gray, but I still call it 69.
Okay. So I like the stance that you have on it. What kind of brake setup and suspension setup do you have here?
Well, it's on an S10 frame to start with, so it's got an independent front suspension already. But with that, I've gone back through and put adjustable coilover shocks, dropped the drop spindles on it. It's got a 2-inch drop spindle on it as well. Power steering, power brakes, air conditioning, all that kind of stuff on it, everything. And it's set almost as low as I can get it. As an example, my lift inside, I've got little blocks in there that I've got to pull the front end up on just to get the, it's a 2-post lift, just to get the arms underneath it and everything, because it sits so low. But I love it low like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a nice stance to it, and I like it. The rims, what rims are these?
Oh, these are American Racing. They're 17-inch, 5-spoke chrome mag wheels and everything, and it's the same on it all the way around. As a selling factor, when I was buying the truck and everything, the guy was telling me, he goes, well, all the tires are the same size. That's not the rims that were on there, but the tires were all the same size so that you could rotate the tires. At the time, I was like, I don't think that really matters, but
okay.
But I've kind of gone with that same theme. So the tire, even these rims that I've got on here now, they'll interchange with the back and everything.
Okay. So your interior, obviously it looks upgraded. So what do you got going on with your interior?
Oh, the interior is just totally redone on it and everything. Almost everything in a 1952 Chevrolet pickup truck wasn't supposed to be anything spectacular. So everything was cardboard, and it might have been trimmed with a little bit of stainless steel or something. But all the door handles were just plain old junk stuff. Actually, when I got the truck, they didn't match. Some of them weren't even there. But I've gone back through it. So on the door panel that I made is a full panel that goes all the way down and everything. On the original one, it was just a little thing right there, just at the window crank and everything.
Just to cover the holes.
The headliner, yeah, it was just a piece of cardboard. It was stuck up there, no insulation. I've gone back through and re-insulated everything on it, not only with like a fiberglass insulation and sound deadening, but also with a spray foam insulation as well. So then it's all covered in leather, or not leather, it's a fake leather. And I never wanted leather seats and everything, because when I was originally building it, I wasn't going to put air conditioning in it, so I wanted cloth seats. Later on, come to find out that I must be getting old, because I think I do want air conditioning in it and everything. But I still have the cloth seats. The seats are bucket seats, power bucket seats. They move independently of each other. Didn't make a center console, just made a little thing for myself just to hold my cup and everything, drink cup and everything.
Gotcha.
It's all carpeted on the inside. The seat originally set 6 inches up. Mine that are in here are only 1 inch, and I made them and everything. The seats are out of a, I think it's a 93 Tahoe. And they've been cut down so that the seat doesn't sit real high above it and everything. The back headrests have all been cut down. And of course, as you can see, I've got 52 embroidered in that as well.
So on these 52s, what engines did they come with stock?
Originally, it came with a 216 motor, and the transmission was a 3-speed, what they call 3-speed, or 3 on the tree. So it was a 3-speed on the column and everything. The original motor, downhill with the wind, might do 50.
Okay, so what do you say we have a look at that engine then?
Sure.
All right, Calvin. So yeah, this isn't a 6-cylinder or anything like that.
No.
So what do we have here?
Well, this is a Chevrolet motor. It's a 400 small block Chevrolet motor. It was supposed to have been a what they consider to be a race built type motor and everything, but I don't think it flew as good as the regular 350. But it has the cam in it is a mild cam that's in it. It has headers on it and everything, dual exhaust, serpentine belt system, air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, everything. So it's got all the luxuries that needs to be there in today's terms and everything, but definitely not what would have been in 1952.
No. How much horsepower do you think that this is pushing out?
I'm running just right at 300 horsepower. 300? It's actually 310 is the horsepower that's on it. It'll still burn the tires off.
Oh yeah. What kind of transmission do you have backing it up?
I'm running a 700 R4 transmission with an overdrive on it and everything. So when it hits the final 4th gear and everything, the tachometer drops way down and everything, so it gets great gas mileage because of that and everything.
And now, is the transmission stock, or does it have any like upgrades to it?
Actually, the transmission is pretty much stock, other than it has the lockout on it, so that when you get into 4th gear and everything, it stays there, and like I say, the RPMs drop way down. Well, I say way down, it drops down enough to where you're getting tremendous gas mileage and everything.
Gotcha. What about the rear end on this? What kind of rear end?
The rear end on this is a Chevy 10-bolt rear end under it. When I bought the truck and everything, the rear end that was under it and everything was a piece of junk and everything. I had to take that out. Anyway, when I bought the rear end, I bought it from not from a friend, but a friend told me about somebody that had the rear end. Hey, this is the rear end you need. I went to pick it up and everything. Come to find out, of course, the guy was telling me, "Oh yeah, that's positive traction. Oh yeah, this came out of a Camaro. It's a 10 bolt and everything else." It's a 10 bolt, but it didn't come out of a Camaro. After we got it apart and got to looking in and got counting the gears on it and everything, it's a 350 gear in it and everything, but it's not positive traction on it and everything.
Okay.
So somewhere down the line we may change that back out and everything. But if I do all that, I'm going to a rear suspension for like out of a Corvette or something, independent rear suspension.
Okay.
That's a big upgrade.
Yeah.
Real big.
Good for handling.
Money wise.
Yeah. So speaking of handling, what do you say we take this for a ride?
Sure, let's go.
All right. These trucks, they were really meant to be the workhorse of the farmer in the U.S., huh?
Yes, very much so. I couldn't believe how much difference there were just in when it rains, these things leak like a sieve. Nothing's tight on it, a lot of air leaks, so on and so forth. But it's getting this truck to where it runs nice and tight and nice and smooth. It's taken a lot of work and everything, but I try to go find every little leak and every little noise and every little bump to try to fix it. But I do love listening to the motor.
Oh yeah. And I've noticed that, you know, you have your car culture, but truck culture is pretty big too. People they love their trucks, man.
Yes, I've always loved this particular years. From 47 through 55. Actually, in 55 they made 2 trucks, one like this, and then the more of the modern truck and everything. But still, this has always been my favorite. And I had a truck just like this one before, 1952. I put it all back original, and the joke always was I always had to carry a toolbox with me, and jokingly, downhill with the wind, it might do 45 miles an hour. But with a little V6 or a little 6-cylinder motor in it, transmission, shifted three on the tree and all that kind of stuff, and the steering wheel was 18 inches. So there's no power steering.
That was your power steering.
You're exactly right. To have a big steering wheel and everything.
So I mean, this truck, this one in particular, they came with 5-window and 3-window, right?
Yes, this is a 5-window. They consider this the deluxe model, and what came with a deluxe was it came with a cigarette lighter, and it came with another sun visor for the passenger.
Okay.
And that was your deluxe. And the
extra
5 windows. And that was the big extras that you could get with the truck.
Gotcha. So this truck, how many different versions did they have of it though?
Well, surprisingly, they made quite a few different versions. They actually made a truck in 3/4 ton that the bed actually tilted back.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen one of those, and to me, I thought, oh, that's going to be somebody had added that to it. But no, you could buy it straight from the factory that way.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
They made a 3/4 ton and a 1 ton, but the cabs for them were all the same.
Gotcha.
You could interchange the cabs and everything.
Now the motor, were they all the same, the motors?
Pretty much the motor was the same. It was a 216 6-cylinder motor, and when you jumped to 3/4 and 1 ton, then you had the shifter, and it had what's called a granny gear in it.
Oh, okay.
And that granny gear was real low on it and everything.
So that it could haul very heavy
because
things
you were
in.
going to probably be pulling stuff with it and everything.
Gotcha. And I love how the fat fenders are on these and everything. And did it actually, from factory, does it come with that chrome stripe down the hood?
That's aftermarket. It came with the center strip down it, but they weren't chrome.
Okay.
Just roughly right after the war and everything.
Okay.
So there wasn't as far as, once again, the truck was made for work, not for beauty.
So it did come with some little trim pieces along
If it
the
did, very, very few pieces were actually chrome. If anything, they were usually stainless steel. The garnish molding on the outside of the windshield is stainless steel.
Okay.
And that was an option that you could get. But most of the trim that was on here, very few pieces were actually in chrome and everything. They were usually just painted over.
Gotcha. So I mean, the grill is iconic on this truck. I mean, it's a huge grill. But I've noticed that they also use the same front end on the Suburbans and the panels?
Yeah, actually the panel trucks, bigger trucks and everything all had the same grill. Mm-hmm. Once again, it was, why reinvent the wheel? It was just a smaller version, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger as far as the truck getting bigger. But a lot of the parts were all interchangeable just for that reason. I mean, if you had a dented something or whatever, you could go buy a part for it that was interchangeable for several different models, not just one.
That's pretty cool. I mean, they really used. I mean, it's a beautiful looking truck. I'll tell you that. And you don't see many of these around, though. Now, besides going to car shows, what else do you do with the truck?
I actually just enjoy driving it. We get in it. Our little club that we've got, Losers Car Club and everything here locally. It's not uncommon. We get in the truck and drive, or get in the vehicles and drive half a day, go someplace for lunch, dinner, and turn around and drive back. Here, I guess in the last few years, we've actually gotten to go, started going out of state even, and everything, going on trips. Went to, just recently did the trip to National Street Rods back in Louisville, Kentucky. Ran up there, and we actually drove.
You guys drove all out there, huh?
We drove all the way up and drove all the way back. Had a great time, and met a lot of nice people on the way up and back. We stayed on all the back roads, and that's always fun. Always fun.
So did you plan on doing any other upgrades to this?
My wife keeps telling me, stop messing with it and drive it and enjoy it. But the joke is, no matter who owns any vehicle, as far as hot rod, they're always a work in progress.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to constantly keep making it better and everything.
That's just how it is.
So yeah, I've got all kinds of things I would love to do to it. Money speaks the best thing, though, as far as keeping you from doing a lot of things.
Yeah, and it can get pretty expensive if you want to do everything the right way.
Oh yeah.
Well, Calvin, I appreciate the time you gave us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for coming to my little farm.
Yeah, I loved it. Got to see some livestock and everything, and don't see much of that around my house.
Pigs, chickens, goats, horses.
So, is there anybody you want to give a special shout out to?
Oh yeah, actually I'd love to thank my daughter, Lenan, who helped me with a lot of work on this, and I enjoyed working with her on this. And a special one to my wife, Katrina, for going to the car shows and being a big car fan and everything. We go to car shows, she starts picking out, hey, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one. And I'm like, I would love to have them, I just don't have a place to put them. And I can't afford them. All
right. Everybody, if you like this episode, like and subscribe. From Calvin to Danny, we'll see you later.
Thank you.